What's up, guys? Got some Algorand news here from your old pal Frugal BC. Today we're talking iOS version of the Gunny app, what happened to some missing folks finance governance money, integrated NFT wallets on DeFi, 100 sign up for Algorand Python Bootcamp, and is anyone actually using crypto? We're going to look at all that today on today's Frugal BC. Before we get to that, guys, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like and subscribe button. Remember, you don't have to smash it. Press it gently. Works just fine that way, too. And we're brought to you by non-fungible domains. Guys, if you want that easy to remember .algo address instead of all those silly letters and numbers, sign up for non-fungible domains. Link in the description. And we're brought to you by Fractal Monsters. You can get a free monster now playing in Fractal Monsters. Free to play, go sign up. Link in the description. It's kind of Tamagotchi, Pokemon themed, little Smash Brothers thrown in there. Big shout out to both of our sponsors, but enough of that. Let's just get right into the news. So the first thing we want to look at, a lot of people have been playing this Gunny app on Android, but now it's on iOS too. So let's take a look at this first one here. The game is called Gunny Rush, and this posted from Gunny, which I just learned about. Hey, Gunny Rush community, we're gearing up for the iOS version. But first, want to know what you want in upcoming updates. And you can choose between online leaderboard, Rocky's accessories, ability to purchase lives, launch of Gunny token. All those are options, but the most important thing is that you can actually play, that an iOS version is coming. Now, what is Gunny Rush? Gunny Rush is like a mobile game that's based in the Algorand ecosystem, and it's the new app from a game called Gunny that's on the Algorand blockchain. It's a play to earn game. I was in the early alpha test for it, and like I said, my I got kind of mixed feelings on playing through it with kind of the way they took feedback. Like, it didn't seem like they really valued the feedback that I was giving them. A lot of it was, I don't know, it was kind of weird, but it seemed like a cool game. I said it was kind of Fortnite-like. People didn't agree with me, but what I mean is that it's more of an exploration game than Fortnite, but it's basically like a 3D shooter, so you see your character on screen, and yeah, it's pretty fun. Pretty cool that they're coming up with an iOS version. Apparently there is plans to launch a Gunny token. What does it say here? Launch of the Gunny token. Gunny shines as the premier game on Algorand. Introducing our token brings rewards, exchange opportunities, and enhances Gunny Rush. I thought it was kind of cool getting all these other tokens on there. It was kind of neat, so, but that's cool. By the way, before we go out further with the news, I want to look at the charts, and this is kind of a bummer. Yeah, we got, we thought we were heading on our way back up. We were at almost the 29-cent level, and then fell back to around between 23, 24 cents, which is where we're kind of capitulating right now. And yeah, it's a bummer, man. It's a bummer. Not much else to say about it. Hopefully we'll be popping back up soon. And as the rest of the market, everything's kind of down, so it's not just Algorand. Otherwise, it's a very interesting little tidbit on folks finance. Someone is kind of wondering where the missing governance rewards came through folks finance. I thought it was kind of interesting, so I want to dig through the numbers on this just to look at it. I've said all along I'm not a fan of governance. I'm glad that they're shifting to a consensus model. Yes, governance will be around, but you won't earn rewards, at least not for regular governance. I'm a little unclear on XGov yet, but regular governance, like, the rewards are going away, and that's going to be transferred to node incentives, which will probably have pools for staking, so you'll be able to just stake Algo and earn. I know a lot of people ask me about it, actually. A lot of people are like, hey, how do I just stake and earn? Actually, folks finance is one way you can also stake and earn, and probably has one of the best staking platforms around. But as far as governance, well, platforms like folks finance and others provide a easier to use way to do governance. I tried to do DeFi this last period, and it kicked me out. So apparently, if you do DeFi, you can't change anything. You can't even add to it, which is crazy. I don't know why that would be. It seems really weird to me, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, so let's look at this folks finance. My fee on folks finance to do gov was 3,150 algo. Algo earned was 2,424 algo from just the folks gov. If I didn't farm and do vanilla gov, I wouldn't have earned a positive amount of algo. Not doing that again. Any thoughts? Now, we're going to see that 31 figure was off, because of course the only way to farm without impermanent, I think he meant impermanent, but he said impertinence. Impermanent he meant loss, not lose, is Algo, and use the LP token for Gov. Perhaps it's a loss to gain. I don't even know what he's saying. Blue said, I committed 3 times as much. My fee was 1,000 Algo, and I got 8900 from governance. Yeah, I think this is my issue, not on the folks side of things. I think we get into this more later on, right? I used folks and came out positive. I'm positive. My issue is that lost me some rewards. LP one way. Fortunately, I agree and I have 12 wallets. Won't be joining again. Perhaps my calculation is incorrect. 315. I'm just curious where did that 3000 algo go in the process? Trying to figure it out. So it was kind of wrong on the fees exactly, but trying to figure out where that algo ended up. I think the main problem with this stuff, it's not just that it's like kind of confusing. Governance just always was kind of I wouldn't say a disaster, just really uninspiring. I've never been very impressed by the way it works. The questions you end up getting asked just really don't seem all that pertinent. To play on the word that he used before incorrectly. It just never seems like it's that useful, unfortunately. I've never been a big fan of governance. I don't like the way it works. I don't think the questions are very good. It seems like do you want 7.5 million algo to DeFi rewards or 5 million? It's like, but then they make these big changes and those just aren't done by governance at all. Like you're not governing anything that really matters. So I'm not a fan of governance, and I do think if you're gonna do governance, I would do it through Messina or folks. I just don't like the fact that I'd rather use my algo, that's my thing. And algo kind of allows you to do that sort of, but I don't know. I remember like not being very impressed with the way it worked for me too. So it's good that they gave them this like option it's good that places like folks gave it this option to do that. But if you want to just stake, you can just stake to folks finance. You can stake USD or algo and get a pretty good feedback. What else we got here? But this was kind of a cool little one from Non-Fungible Domains, which yes, is a sponsor of the show. But I think this is kind of neat. NFT domains, they've been pretty useful. Having that .algo address just makes doing stuff in Algorand a lot easier because you can just punch in your name, especially if I'm looking stuff up on like ASA stats. Way easier than trying to find the letters and numbers. Now this is kind of a cool one because big news, DeFi app now integrated NFT vaults. With vaults, there's no longer a need for users to opt in before receiving an asset. Yeah, so it's kind of cool. You get it in the vault, but then it doesn't go right to your address. You can send it over or not. Here's how it works. We send an asset to an NFT. DeFi checks if your account is opted in. If not, no worries. DeFi seamlessly routes the asset to your vault. And what's the celebration without a little giveaway? To enter, just RT, comment your NFT. Make sure your NFT is at least version 2.11 and that your vault is unlocked to utilize vaults. Not sure, just go to the smart contract update. It's got the path here. Yeah, and it was interesting. I didn't really pay much attention to vaults for a while, and then I found out I had an NFT in there. I had some other coins and stuff that people had sent me. It just all goes there instead of like other places. I've got one of those Mars ones. I assume the Mars guy sent it to me. I don't know for sure. And it's funny they're using Stacy.algo, which is Stacy Warden, CEO. Yeah, so that's just nothing too controversial there. Just kind of a nice little update from Non-Fungible Domains, and we're big fans of what they're doing over here. So it kind of works like with sponsorships. I'm really careful. I still only have 2, and I just haven't reached out to anyone. Yeah, I want to make sure that it's going to be a company I think it's going to last a while. That's part of it. And then the other part is, I just got to think they're doing the right thing in the ecosystem. And Fractal Monsters to me is doing the right thing. So is Non-Fungible Domains. Well, so there's a lot of people. It's interesting. So Python went live last week. It was kind of all the rage, that Python is live on Algorand. We kind of broke down a little bit, talked about a little bit about whether there was a difference between ICP's WebAssembly version of Python and actual Python. I got some responses, especially after I made the video segment, but I don't know, functionally, it sounds like it's just a little bit easier or with less constraints, but I still haven't really gotten a good functional, if you're the developer, here's how much easier it is, or here's what it allows you to do. I think everyone's having a really hard time answering that question. So supposedly tomorrow, depending on your watch list, it might be today. It's April 5th. There's supposed to be a call where they go into more detail on this, which is cool. Start a little drama also, but whatever. Anyway, the reason we're talking about this is because Algorand held a Python bootcamp and had some pretty good results. So let's look at this. Algorand bootcamps are starting now. The first one has over 800 people signed up already. That's cool. Python on Algorand has only been easier to start building. What will you build? And there's actually better news. Let me see if I can find that better news. Yeah, here's one. It says more than 900 signups for today's bootcamp, of which more than 50% are net new developers in the Algorand ecosystem. So that's a really important metric. That's huge. That means half of those people like just weren't in Algorand, so actually brought them in, which is the whole point. So we wondered about this, right? Like now they're coming to a boot camp, so it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to build an Algorand. But if you start this boot camp and half the people are from outside of Algorand, that's a good thing, right? I mean, that's hard to say that's not a good thing, right? In my opinion, anyway. I have a hard time seeing that it's not a good thing. So cool, that's great. This is what we want. And also I like seeing the new, I can never remember his name because it's not anywhere. It's Markful. I've covered it on the show, but I can't remember. And he doesn't, it's hard to get a reminder because he doesn't actually use his real name anywhere here. I'd probably put that on there somewhere. A little weird not to have that somewhere, but if you're, kind of a higher up in the Algorand ecosystem. But what I like is that we're seeing a lot of Twitter activity, a lot of pushing this stuff out there. He seems to have a marketing plan, so good for him. It looks like Silvio will be speaking at the Paris Blockchain Week, which is kind of cool. I got one more for you. Yeah, this one's just kind of interesting, I think. Well, I'm trying to think of the best way to set this up, but maybe I should just go right to the tweet and then we can kind of respond to it. It kind of has to do with actual blockchain usage. All right, so this is from Updog, which Twitter handle is What's Updog, kind of a joke from The Office. There isn't anything built on Web3 that I want or have to use on a daily basis. This app is full of people who have never cooked arguing about their favorite recipe. That's funny. Kind of applicable in some ways, but got a lot of views and not a lot of engagement, which is kind of interesting. I'll tell you what. Let's see. So Michael Jordan, who's he's a big influencer in the Algorand space, a good friend of the channel for sure. Says what? Not even on Solana or ETH, but they're seemingly thriving ecosystems. You mean the best is yet to come in Web3? What better way to get there than onboarding 10 million devs with Python and Algorand? Maybe blockchain can be more than sweeping S coins and JPEGs and faking TPS and TVL stats of other chains. Looking forward to all the great new and innovative ideas coming out of India and around the world from Web 2 that now have access to Algorand, the blockchain that works better than 10 chains combined. Welcome to Web 3. Yeah, etc. Not built on best tech, not simply chains with allegedly more exit liquidity for your music tokens, JPEGs, etc. Best is yet to come. Well, okay, I'm glad he said that because there's always this feeling in crypto, and if you've been in crypto a while, you get kind of sick of hearing this attitude, right? And the idea is that the attitude is, hey, we're early in this thing and adoption is just right around the corner. Well, let me tell you, adoption has been around the corner for like the last when I first got into crypto in 2017, adoption was just right around the corner. It's always just right around the corner, right? So this is my third bull cycle, and we've gone there to an extent on stuff like, the ETFs, like the institutions have really started to pay attention to crypto. ETFs have kind of put it into like regular folks, but not in the sense of actually using it for anything. It's in the sense of investment vehicle, which is like, I think a lot of people actually treat it as, and frankly, half my crypto is probably dedicated to investment. Algorand's really the only chain that I use more than just as an investment vehicle. Like actually, or at least I would still say it's an investment vehicle. It's just different types of investment. It's like the thing that gets me to the thing, not the thing. That's sort of been like the promise, is that crypto will be the thing that gets us to the thing. Like all these great technologies are just around the corner. And the reality is most of us are just like buying this stuff, waiting for the price to go up and then selling it and making money. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm doing that a lot myself. I was taking a lot of profits when we had the initial bull run up. We got plenty left in the tank, by the way, for those who are like, where are you taking profits already? I think you should always de-risk, and the sooner you can get well, I shouldn't say sooner, but it's good to get that initial investment pulled out, because then everything is profit. You don't have to worry. You're completely de-risked. There's probably some kind of balance to be found on when you would do it. So fair enough, but I don't think you want to like pull out too soon. I actually think I pulled stuff out of Solana a little too early probably, but this line is really important. There isn't anything built on Web3 that I want or have to use on a daily basis. As far as have to use or actually use on a daily basis, like maybe the wallets, just because I take my rewards daily most of the time on Tiny Man. But the fact is, there just aren't a lot of like great use cases right now. Hopefully they're coming. The use cases that I've been covering, like they're not always all that great. Lofty, I've covered Lofty to death, but Lofty has a lot of problems. Maybe the problem is with real estate, not Lofty, but some of the problems are with Lofty, let's be real. And some of it's just like, it's just not that great of a, it just doesn't work out that well in practice. You know, you end up with a bunch of properties that aren't paying rent and you're just kind of stuck with these tokens. And if you sell the tokens, you're not getting the value that Lofty says you're getting whatever the value they set. So like your dashboard might say it's worth like $55, but then you go to the liquidity pool and you actually get 30 for it. So there's sort of this sense that crypto is it always seems to be a perpetual promise in the future. And at some point it's like, is this coming? Now I do think there's possibly is still coming, because I wouldn't be here if I didn't, right? I think it's kind of like the internet, where for the first 10, 15 years, it was mostly like a fun toy. Now, I can remember being at a job where they told us, don't let us catch you on Facebook. And then like in a short time period, like 2 years ago, it changed to like, why aren't you on Facebook more? You know, it went from like being this kind of silly toy distraction to like, this is the core of our business, and then not, you know, so these things change a lot. I think crypto has a lot of promise. I think there are use cases for the blockchain right now in like supply chains and things like that. You know, as far as like this like ubiquitous thing that we're all using on a daily basis, like Updog kind of points to, you know, we haven't really seen it yet. I'm not saying it's not coming in the future, but if you've been in crypto as long as I have, you start wondering like, is it? Are we actually going to get there? So that's my little take on that. Anyway, I hate to end things on kind of a downer, because obviously I'm making videos about crypto. I think it's a great investment vehicle, and I do hope some of this stuff really comes to fruition. So thanks so much for sticking around. Links in the description below of all kinds of good deals in crypto and other stuff you can get, as well as from our sponsors, and get an Algorand book in there, everything. So thanks so much. I'm FrugalBC. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the future.